केही न केही हुन्छ अनि हाम्रो कुरो
अनि त्यो त ढुक्क दिउँला नि त्यो चाहिँ म्याजिक सर्ट लाएर एक दिन केही गर्नु पर्यो
म्याजिक सर्टले कडै काम गर्यो नि त के काम गर्यो यसो भन्न मिल्छ हाम्रो रेकर्डेड साथीहरूलाई
अलि नभन होला
भन्न मिल्दैन
रेकर्ड हुनु सुरु भइसक्यो
सुरु भइसक्यो
अनि इङ्ग्लिसमा होइन हामीले रेकर्ड गर्ने
yes it was a mistake
no man I mean you have to start from the beginning and the beginning is where we speak English
yeah we can definitely cut the Nepali part and
or we could just stop the recording and start a new one
yeah we can do that let me do that okay let me just
yeah that sounds better because a lot of work will be cut off
okay so
how was your day man I made a pull request today
yeah I made the recording okay so my day was it was okay I think
did you make any pull requests
yeah I made a pull request but it was denied
oh you made that pull request
they didn't want to get pulled over
yeah mine is still on pending and it is for 2 people actually so I don't know but so, I think it will be approved at worst I'll have to make some changes but it's not a very big one
so it's a group session kind of thing or
yeah the entire project is overlooked by a group of people
multiple domain people are being involved to create a project
yeah
that's definitely a really interesting thing to hear my friend
yeah
I hope there will be no any bad code reviews
no there won't be I mean even if there are bad it's just it's no big deal I mean
yes so yeah
we can change
that anytime what should we do for today like what's your plan for this our session what should we
I don't know man what do you think I think you should share your screen and hopefully also
if you share your screen then it will be better for the meet will like since I'm recording our images will be at the one end if I share my screen then
I have this issue with the desktop environment I'm using does not allow me to share the screen in that case I'll have to log out and log in again is that okay for you
oh no let me try then again with another method I have that I will just yeah I think I will share my screen because I just found a new method
yeah sure
so let me share my screen because a window I will do and I will just do this window so you are looking my screen right
yeah I can see that is it like Motu Patlu or something
so
but can you make at least the video full screen
so what should we react on at first like
let's react to what do you think no that is so boring man I think we should react to something like
yes let me what happened with my
oh some guy coming to Nepal and eating food that was fun I mean there are a lot of guys like that Nepal you can just Google Nepal blog and then we can react on those
okay so I'm going to okay let's
full day in Pokhara okay
this guy okay
I mean it's very long I don't think we'll react to the entire video but yeah let's
we will just skip it
yeah and let's go on and then once we get bored let's close it
yeah sure
hi sir good morning but good I can't hear anything
you can't hear it
can you play it again a beautiful green quiet Pokhara in Nepal no I can't hear anything I think there's an option to share the system sound as well let me
let me. I think
Yeah.
let's. So you can hear this sound, right?
Wait, there is no sound because the video is paused.
Oh, where I'm out doing a wee bit of exploring. Going to do a bit of sightseeing today.
No, I can't hear anything.
So this is the issue that.
Maybe your spaceship absorbed all the sound. Or we can react to something like Tom and Jerry where we don't need audio. That is okay as well.
Let's go to Reddit. What do you say? What about Reddit?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's just let's react to answers and ask credit.
Hmm. So so can you see the window?
No, your screen is frozen, man, since a long
Oh,
time.
I'm
Okay, I
sorry.
can see the new window.
I'm really sorry. I just changed the window and I didn't give that permission to share. Okay, now I think you can see this
Okay,
window.
that's great.
Yeah, so can you see now?
Okay.
Yeah, you just tell me the question and we will be looking into that, okay?
Okay, what will you do with 30,000 cash right now? Let's see where the
What
people
about
have
your
to
what
see.
will be your answer? Let's discuss on that also.
Okay. I think $30,000 honestly won't change my life that much at the moment.
But what will you do with it? Like the question is.
I don't know. I'll just keep it in the bank for the moment. I'll just keep it in the bank, and then just collect the interest. But the long term plan would be to use it to, ideally, if I have a very good business, put some money on it. But that's like a very vague answer. But I think to make the most of it, I'd just look on how I can invest it outside of Nepal. Because if it is coming from outside of Nepal, I wouldn't let it come into Nepal because I heard somewhere that it is illegal to like funnel money outside of the country from inside. But if you have some assets outside,
Yeah.
you can use them, and then it's completely legal for you to earn money outside and then like transfer them outside only. I'm not 100% sure, but I would do something like that so I can like invest on stock markets or any sort of markets on the
Yeah.
outside. I'd keep some portion of it outside the country and the rest of it I'd just keep it for me.
Yeah, you
But
I
I
have
don't know.
I have
At
seen some guys like in Twitter also they just went to foreign like for example to US and they
Mhm,
earn some money. They use that money to buy some stocks like US stocks, especially the Vanguard stock, right? They
mhm.
accumulated some stock. They have accumulated and they have increased their portfolio. And if you see now, then those guys are like near like being to millionaire, but the money that they invested in it was like everything they like earned from while being in US.
Oh, yeah,
So
that is cool. What would you do?
I think I will buy some gold, because
Mm-hmm,
like not like I will if it's 30,000 cash, I will I think buy 5 to 8 8K cash some like gold, okay.
mm-hmm.
And I think some of it I will use in my mind there are a lot of ideas like most of the time I will think that what will happen if these things get deployed, or let's say these things get produced, and especially the software ones. So I will just like do experimental like make those things, and despite of the return I will just like just to see how.
Yeah, I get your point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very good use of money actually. But for me personally, with the state of mind that I have, I don't think I'm limited by. I mean, by me, I mean you or me, or at least even if I have $0 in my pocket right now, that is not the biggest issue for me for starting somewhere. Like not zero actually. If I have at least $500, like that is enough to buy a simple domain and just integrate stuff, right? The biggest issue is I can't experiment with things because the government or whatever it is in Nepal does not allow me to integrate like credit card payments or whatever with the outside. I mean, I think it is possible. There are obviously ways people are doing it, but I'm not sure, one, is it legal or not, and two, it is like too cumbersome just to have an experiment you just have on an idea you just had while you're sleeping, and it's maybe not even worth something. But if it was super easy, we'd be trying, and maybe one of them would blow up, but we'll never know, at least until we're here.
Yeah, yeah. Like until it's executed, we don't know, right? So we will
Yeah,
look into
and
that.
like it comes down to that same thing. Like for example, when people say I'll buy a Kindle or an iPad to read books, it's not that they will read all the books and then they're gonna be scholars. It's not that at all. And if and it's also not the case that they will read some book because they have an iPad and then their life will change.
Yeah,
But we do know that your life might change because you read some book, but that will not be because okay, I'll read this book and then my life will change. It will be because it's just so easy to read the books, and then you just easily, like when you're not thinking anything, you just skim through books, and then like when you do so maybe 10, 20 times or 50 times, one of them will be so good you'll be enthralled in it, and hopefully your life will change for the better, or even if not, at
yeah,
least
yeah.
you'll enjoy one book, but you would have never known if it was not easy to read the book.
I got the point. So yeah, at least.
Yeah, I think things should be easy. Like the, I
So you
think the
believe that?
takeaway here, if there was anything, is like whether it is like starting a venture where you can integrate payments, or just working out, or just studying or whatever. When you make things easy and as part of your life, there is high chance of succeeding, because we never know what will succeed. In the only way is to just
Just do
like
things.
do keep doing things,
Yeah,
and for that we need to make things easy to
easy.
keep doing
If
things.
it's hard, we won't do that, right? So yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like if you if you are like if it's like 20 degrees Celsius on the outside, you will never go for a run. But if it's
Yeah.
like 20 25 positive 20 25, you might sometimes go for a run, and you might be healthier, at least in that regard.
Yeah, so let's just see the answers, right? So what
Yeah,
they have posted, and let's see their perspective. We have given our
yeah.
perspective, now let's
Yeah,
see.
but most of these people are probably Americans. So
Yeah.
let's see. Let's not judge anyone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, that's it.
See,
Simple.
it's save it, right?
Yeah, I
Most of
mean it's
we
as story as old as time, as they say.
pay off my debt and put 5K in savings so that I can finally finance it. Government never make the same financial mistake that I made in
I mean,
2017.
it's so depressing, isn't it? These people, this guy is in his 30s, and
Probably, yeah.
30,000, probably in his 30s, hopefully in his early 30s at
And
worst,
have some
and
debt.
he has some debt, probably from college or whatever, and putting 5K in saving is a big deal for him. I mean, that is so depressing, man.
Yeah, so our little friend wants to join the chat. So Pratik,
Oh, okay.
you are welcome.
Let him know that we're speaking in English and
Yeah,
it's being recorded, and he will also have to react to everything he sees on the screen.
yeah.
What's up, guys?
What's up? What's up, friend?
How are you, man? I
Yeah.
think, I don't think, I know you sing very good, so I think you'll have to sing at the end if you feel like it.
No, 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 not today because
Oh, okay, not today. I mean,
yeah,
this is, our audience doesn't like that, probably.
Is this being recorded?
yeah, it's being
Yeah.
recorded and we are just. You can see the
No, you
screen,
see,
right?
you can be yourself. I mean, if you say something offensive or something you might not want the public to know, we'll just cut it out or just keep it private for eternity.
Why are we speaking English, guys?
Because our
It's
audience
the yeah,
is
it's
like
his
not
ideas.
bound by borders or languages.
Okay, nice. Are we
Your
reacting
voice
to
is too small,
memes?
man.
Hello?
Yeah, it's
Can you
okay.
speak a bit louder? We can hear you, but it's like I have to pay too much attention. Or is it my volume? It's
Okay,
not.
let's check it.
I think it's your volume, so Sudev. I'm
No,
like
but I can hear you clearly.
Oh,
Wait, let me just adjust my sound a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's okay, or I'll just increase my volume.
okay. So we are just like
How can you hear me?
Yeah,
yeah,
that is
Hello.
perfect.
it's perfect. So Pratik, we are just trying to look into
Yeah,
some
that's
of
the
the.
question on Ask Credit, and
Hmm.
we are just seeing what the people have to say, and it reflects, all over the world, like how people are and what the lives are. But first of all, what would you do
Yeah,
if you just got thirty
yeah.
thousand
Let's.
dollars cash right now?
Yeah.
Mm.
So before you like came here, we just answer our own answers. So
And buy gold.
Buy what?
Gold.
From
thirty
all of
thousand
it.
dollars gold. Yep.
Like, oh, okay, that makes sense, I guess.
so how
Safe investment.
yeah how you said gold and of how much like
You
of
say
of
all of it,
I
like
don't
you'll buy $30,000
I-
worth of gold.
yeah
because I don't really have much to like spend many things to spend money on. So why not like spend it all on gold or safe investment? If you want
yeah
to sell
I
it, you
mean,
can sell
if
it.
I mean on the same regard, you could invest like 10,000 on gold, 10,000 on maybe real
Yeah, you could
estate or something.
diversify your portfolio, but since gold is a safe investment and I
Yeah,
can't really think of anything right now,
yeah
so
yeah
if I change
it's
my mind, I can instantly sell it
yeah
tomorrow or
yeah, yeah.
rather
today.
That
keeping
makes
it
sense.
on bank as a cash, it's always a good idea to keep it as a gold, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best idea, I think. I mean, gold won't depreciate. It'll like constantly rise. It'll
yeah,
rise really fast. So, it's a really safe investment, I think.
yeah. Okay, so we are just looking into other people's answer also, right? So let me just go to other. So what this guy has to say. So I will put new windows and sliding on my very large 100 years old house, sell it and buy a much smaller house. I live alone in this place and I never go in the after.
That is, I mean, it's just you don't even think the way people think because well, you haven't seen the situations people are
This
in.
is
It's so
yeah super personal, right? Like
yeah, super personal, and it's also like I don't know what's the word. I mean, I don't even know what's the feeling that the weird feeling that we don't know like 99% of the people's perspectives, and
yeah.
in these small comments we can maybe get a surface of it. I don't know, like I'm maybe making too much of it because it's night already.
Are you drunk, Bhandari?
No, I'm not drunk, dude. I'm in a spaceship. Who sits on a pilot cockpit of a
No,
spaceship while drunk, man?
Rick will be drunk, in a
Yeah,
spaceship.
yeah, that makes sense. But we none of us are Rick.
Okay.
All of us are rich.
Yeah. Okay, this guy would just
So
mortgage and saving. This is not very interesting. Let's go to another comment.
I think let's go to another question because
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
I think this is like way too little amount of money for the answers to be interesting. They'll either be very personal.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean, 30,000 is not a lot. Either they have to be totally broke and
he's gone. He's broke.
Oh yeah, you can. I
yo,
think
sorry, man.
Natural.
Bondar
Him,
is so
Bhandari.
broke that his internet is even not stable. We were talking about that, and
No, I mean, I accidentally clicked this back button on my mouse.
okay,
So
I mean, I
we are
am
saying
poor. I have not paid my fee for the internet. I mean, they will cut it out after 2 days and then I'll pay it.
it doesn't suit Bhandari saying you're poor.
yeah, yeah.
If there's one person in the world,
That's not Bondari.
yeah,
Okay, what industry do you hope won't exist in 10 years? What are your answers for that?
I think
You
content
hope,
writing,
I mean, not your prediction, but what do you hope will not exist?
technical writing will not be some sort of
Oh no, I think it will be
you
there.
hope
It's just,
you hope it
you
exists.
hope, why do you hope
Oh,
technical
hope.
writing won't exist?
Oh, it's a hope. So no, no. Like
For me, it's SEO, advertising.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense because
But
those people don't produce any value, right?
actually, SEO, like, what is SEO, man? Like, manipulating search engines. Like, search engines are supposed to,
yeah,
display true information, and they're like
Exactly.
basically advertising stuff
backward
in
engineering,
search
right?
engines. Yeah.
Too
To be
much.
honest, I'll make a very bold move here. I think, like these bankers and stockbrokers, who just move stocks here and there and don't produce any value. I think that is the field industry that won't exist in 10 years. I mean, it's too idealistic to say, but I think that is the point of the question, I guess.
It says what do you hope, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think
Yeah, but I think
I
we
hope.
need
Yeah, I hope
stock
this.
because
School
the
and
stock market needs to exist for, to a certain extent, because like there's a lot of companies, right? And not everyone can, you know, research themselves and, find the right company and invest in it. So
yeah,
if
yeah.
there's a market where there's, complete
No,
list
I
of
mean that's not the point. I don't think people should
ads.
invest in companies themselves. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know what's the like. There are
So
like
I'm
many
saying
layers,
like full time, full time investors. They don't have any other job. All they do is like look at
No, I mean
market
I
and
don't have any problem with people who are like investors and who help businesses. Like if they do their research and do their thing, like that is okay. But people who's like so entire job is to like they don't even like quote unquote invest. They just move numbers around. I mean it's a
Oh,
very
you
fine
mean
line between who actually invest like venture capitalists and who just move stocks from one place to another,
you mean day
hoping that they
traders?
will make a profit on that day.
Yeah, Bondar, you mean the day traders? Like what they do is
Yeah,
that?
the day people who make a living just doing day trading, like they
Yeah.
have no relationship or anything with the profit or the growth of the companies they invest in.
Nothing. They are just like yeah, betting on numbers. Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
and they're just playing with numbers. They're not producing any value, right? I mean, like
They are
if
just
you are
like
super rich and you give money to companies, you are at least helping to create value for the people that are running the company, right? But these people are not producing any value.
and that
Yeah,
industry
makes
is I
sense.
think kind of it's a adrenaline rush industry, right? They have their own dopamine.
Yeah, but there shouldn't be. There are better places to rush your adrenaline. Like go play football, dude. At least it's healthy.
Yeah, yeah,
Go to the gym.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if, I hope the university like lectures and especially
Mhm.
school lectures won't exist. Should not exist in 10 years, because
That is
Why not?
not. I mean, that is so wrong, man. I mean, they should exist. I
Why
mean,
not? Please explain, Katie.
no, it's
Please.
like you can always watch the same lectures on video format, right,
no, I
online.
think you are saying that okay. I understand that a lot of teachers and lecturers don't do a great job, but that does not mean their absence is what's needed. Like they're not doing their job properly. That's the problem. The problem is not that the job should not exist, or
No, I think
Yeah.
convince
the
me.
way we learn, especially universities, I think
Mhm.
universities should be a place of control, right? They take exams, they give you certificate, they give you licenses. I think their role should be in that way, and the teaching part should be more of like in video format online,
I
right?
don't think so because you are like
Yep.
narrowing down too much. Because you are a computer science student, it is possible. Like for majority of the subject matters, it is possible to learn from the internet or just from stuff. Like for example, if you play with hardware and you like destroy it, who will be responsible? Even worse, like think about medical students or the other fields.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's not
definitely it
possible.
depends on the subject, right? You got the
Yeah.
point. The medical is not
Also
possible.
depends on the person. Like some people,
Might,
they
yeah.
can't watch a screen for like 12
And yeah,
hours.
and of course,
Do
and the
that to
entire
learn.
point is to
People
like
need
push.
communal environment to
Yeah.
learn. To learn with other people, other peers.
And
So
if you are
that
learning anything of value, you should be pushing to the boundaries of where we know in that field, right? And if you just don't take advice from the experts and you just consume and consume, like that boundary will never be pushed, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just my perspective. I got new ideas from you guys. let's go.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's go to the answers. Okay. Okay. So
Bloggers.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course. Yeah,
oh.
I don't think that exists even today. That this is
family
like,
vloggers.
yeah, I mean, it's more like a trend and not a profession, I think.
No, it's already like there are a lot of full time family vloggers, mommy vloggers. They do like what I'm going to cook today for my kids, what I'm like using, what how I'm cleaning my house. They are like
Oh, okay.
it's there. Look,
Also, like reaction videos too.
I mean, this
Yeah,
guy went
that is one
total
more
meta. I
when
mean,
it comes to YouTube content. This is a reaction video, but this is where adding something upon it.
yeah,
In TikTok, in YouTube Shorts, you find these videos where there's like one guy doing like this, and then
yeah,
there's another video on the. He's not even doing anything. He's just doing this.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
relatable.
and
There's
then
and
and then some videos are like people are saying something, and because it might not be entirely interesting, on half of the screen they just show a game of like car playing. Like what the hell is going on?
like they are really doing experiment with the algorithm, right? Like they are going
Yeah,
yep.
brutal on that, like whatever
So
gets
I'm
views.
talking about those kind of reaction videos. Not this kind of reaction
yeah,
videos. Like we're adding something on top of content, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is fine, but
So
not
at
like
the end of the day,
disappointing.
it's about us, right, Bandari? So
yeah. It's all about us. It's not about the Reddit threads or the
yeah,
videos or the audience. It's about us who we are reacting, and
how
if
we
this
are enjoying
doesn't
it.
make us happier than we would be otherwise,
Yeah.
like that's not a good video. But we
Okay.
don't care about our audience honestly. And if our audience is very smart, like they will go watch a better video, right?
Okay. This someone DJ Beaker says anything involving cold calling or massive phone call, farms pimping random shit.
Yeah, I mean, hey, more. I think this person is talking about click farms and like call centers that do nothing but advertising or annoying people. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't think.
that's
I'm not sure what this guy is
no,
It
that's
is
a
pointing.
like
mass.
I think you
Yeah,
had a legitimate market,
yeah.
advertising.
That's a
Yeah.
massive, industry in like this kind like Europe, America.
Mhm.
The cold calling, market is. I think there are some agencies that do cold calling for other industry, like cold calling as a service.
Yeah,
There are
cat.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a very bad market. Even in India, when you buy a SIM, you will get random cold calls, and when you upgrade to one level higher, you will get fewer calls, fewer
Okay.
advertisement calls. Like you have to buy an ad blocker for your SIM. I mean, come on,
Oh,
man.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Telemarketers, yeah.
Telemarketing.
Yeah. But I think all like they we may not agree with the way of the marketing, but marketing jobs are necessary because otherwise only one of the like unicorns or whatever the big five or big 10 tech companies in all the domains will just be big forever, and no one else will get the chances. So I think we shouldn't sit on marketing too much. I know it is annoying, but it is also necessary. Maybe telemarketing and a lot of other ways are not appropriate, but marketing in general, I think, is necessary.
There's like good ways to do marketing and bad ways to do marketing, and the good ways should be promoted. Toxic marketing should be
Yeah,
avoided.
yeah, of course.
There are creative ads, like there
Yeah.
a lot of Indian companies do like really amazing ads that are entertaining too. They provide value. Those type of things should be promoted, I think, when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you guys think? Like basically, marketing just means that showing something where there are a lot of people, right? Like just
Maybe
letting.
even like a few people, like showing something to people who might be your potential customer or customers.
Yeah, one of
Yeah,
the
marketing basically, I think like it's showing value.
yeah,
Yeah.
Showing value to
Showing
people, showing what
people
you do.
that we have something that will solve some problem. Okay, give us money and we'll give you this. Just letting people know that something
yeah,
exists.
just like letting people know about it. It's
Yeah.
marketing, right? Yeah.
Yep.
For example, yesterday I was like watching a certain podcast of Nepali guy who was like, he had it was a startup called Todford. Have you guys heard about it? Like,
No.
like
Nope.
it's a certain room where you break things, and this guy, you know, like, like
Anger management.
yes, he has a fact
Yeah.
that for 500 you can break five things and something like that. For 1,000 you
I
can break
mean,
10 things.
that may. I mean, if I can pay like 3,000 and I can break anything I can, that is a very good place.
Yeah,
But if
I
I
have a
can just
business idea,
count and
guys.
then break, yeah.
yeah,
We rent a house, right? We rent one house,
yeah,
Hmm.
and there's stuff there. We buy stuff, right?
yeah.
And then a thief pays us to steal stuff from the house to satisfy his like instinct to steal
Yeah.
stuff.
And we'll hide it in creative places.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's more like a scavenger hunt more than stealing.
yeah, and that guy
you
even
decrease
has
crime.
TVs to break. Like there was a menu, like he had a menu, right? And it will,
Mhm,
if you have TV, then it will cost 1,500, like something like that, and
mhm,
protective gear. And it was a kind of first thing in Nepal. So Kantipur was featuring his startup there in third or fourth base, right? And
Hmm.
online cover was doing it, and he was saying that it's a free marketing, and what he told that if you do so those things that are like really you know
Interesting.
yeah, interesting, and they are free marketing, then you don't have to spend a lot of
Mhm.
money in marketing, and it's a good way to do like do a startup, something like that he told.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not as simple all the time, right? Like we don't have like sometimes it's not appropriate, sometimes we don't have the idea, sometimes we
Yeah.
don't have the resources, and sometimes we just see the opportunities where if I see an opportunity where I can start a newspaper tomorrow, and then I'm like from my conscience, I see that in 1 year I'll make huge amount of profit. There is no reason to not start a new newspaper just because it is not flashy, right? And I have to do marketing and it will be boring. So, I mean, I get your point and that guy's point, but it is also sometimes necessary to like force into people's mouth, but at the same time not be really annoying and like promote toxic marketing and like get into people's lives.
Yeah, yeah, basically cold calling and telemarketers,
Yeah, they are
that's what.
bad. Yeah, they are bad.
That's fair. Let's go to another point, and after this, we can change the question
Yeah.
also. The trouble teen industry. Look
Uh,
up next post
what?
video. I didn't like. See what I mean?
What does this
Abusing
mean?
minors for money shouldn't be an industry. I think
I
we.
don't think that's an industry. Like, okay, drug cartels shouldn't exist and human trafficking shouldn't exist. I mean, these are not professions. I mean, like,
So
killing
what
people
is the
shouldn't
trouble
exist.
in industry? I mean, is that like a legitimate
He's
industry?
saying to
Industry
look
is that?
for next post video on Elan School. I don't know what he's referring to, but if you guys,
I don't think this is like even famous because
Please.
this has like 130 upvotes, and the
yeah,
one below it has like 3,300
Yeah, let's
upvotes. I don't think
skip
this.
it. I don't think that is.
yeah, he's saying
What is
oncology,
oncology? I think, oh, that is very
cancer
clever, man.
treatment related to cancer. I think, yeah,
Yeah, I think this guy is saying that cancer should be
Oh,
treated
nice.
already
very
and there should be no
We can agree.
research
We can
there.
all agree on this. Yes.
it's
Basically, the medical industry should not exist. People
yeah,
should live
medical, yeah,
forever.
Yeah.
yeah, human
I mean,
trafficking, yeah,
come on, these are not professions, these are like crimes. I mean,
yeah, pharmacy benefit managers, fast fashion,
Oh, PBMs.
yeah, car dealerships shouldn't exist. Like, you should go to a store and then have a fixed price and then buy cars, like you buy vegetables. Like, I hear when buying cars, people have hard times because there are no fixed prices.
I think you guys could like relate. There are like dollars for kire- flats in Kathmandu, right?
Yeah, exactly.
for flats. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, these are
What
the
are your
scammers.
opinions?
Like,
You don't have any
these are,
experience with them, but
they are not even brokers, they are just
No,
scammers, man.
actually, Dole for flats are sometimes they are like, it's okay. But in Pokhara, I have like heard a lot of like, right? I think in Kathmandu also. For example, if I need a job, right, and I'm just I have just passed my 12. I need a job. What this job agency do is that they will ask 250 rupees from you just to land a certain phone call interview with a certain company, right? They will give
Hmm.
you the company's phone number and they will ask 250 rupees for that. So just look how it will be on you if you are searching for job. That's really should not exist, I think. What do you say?
Or like
Yeah, that
a
is.
cold call for a
No,
number.
not cold call.
They'll
For example, if you
No,
need,
just to see the opening. Like if you had
yeah, just to
internet,
know who
you
is
paid 250 rupees to see the openings on the careers page.
no, just to have a phone, and I will like to work with you. Just for that, they ask like 250, and that's a really vulnerable position for them to,
Yeah.
because they do not have any chance then paying that. So I think that's really not good. Yeah, I think guys, let's do a one last question and let's in for today. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
sure.
I think yeah.
You can sort by top of last week or
Yeah, I
something.
think we should sort by top because like
Yeah.
This week, okay.
there's a lot.
Okay.
Art film.
Uh,
Not to get this one.
There is still 15 minutes left.
I think this will be boring.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, this will be very boring.
What about this? What ingredient ruins sandwich for you?
Oh no, I
I
have
don't
said tuna.
Yeah, yeah. Let's. What's.
what's
Did it start?
mm,
Oh, it didn't finish it. Let's not.
What show did he start
part of sex is
anywhere?
the least enjoyable for you.
Let's not do NSFW.
Yeah, yeah. If you could go back
If
in
you
time.
Oh,
could
that
go
is
back,
interesting.
Yeah, this might be interesting, guys. I think Pratik might give
They
us
have
some
very
really.
interesting stories.
Yeah, what do you say, Pratik, about this?
mm,
I think we should go first because you will have multiple stories. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. This will be someone who will be in the last two.
I
uh,
would love to be a fly on the wall when, like, they killed Julius Caesar because I don't entirely believe that's how it went. I
mhm.
don't think
How do you think?
23 people surrounded him and just stabbed him. And it is possible, but I think it's like too simplified. Even that is simplified too much.
How do you think it went?
I don't know.
Because
I
that
don't
like
know
that's
at
the best
all, but
account we have.
maybe
People
because
stabbed
I've
him.
heard it all my life, it sounds like too straightforward at this point. But maybe because that sounds too straightforward, I don't think that's how it went. Like
I
everyone
mean,
united and they agreed and then they killed him. I mean, it's so simple. I don't think that's how it went at all.
as far as I know, there's like not multiple accounts of how it actually went down because
Hmm.
like there were not many people present. I think 23. I think no one else was present, right? The only 23 plus Julius Caesar. Only
Yeah.
they were present. So, I mean, it might be biased. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like that's the only account we have. So for now, we should we have no
Believe
option but believe KD.
I think I didn't have any those specific event on my mind right now, so I will pass the platform to Pratik. Yeah.
it.
For me, there's so many, man. Like the first
Like
thing on my mind
say
is
one per millennia.
Yeah. No, you can just
first first
list
uh,
multiple. Yeah, it's okay.
number one is like when they killed the Tsars of Russia. That is like the Tsars of Russia were in Russia, were the rulers of Russia for nearly a millennium, right?
Hmm.
And when the communists basically killed their entire family, like no one was left, even the children, everyone, they killed everyone. When that happened, that was like a really big deal because thousands of years of history was cut down in like a single moment. And I would really like to see that because I used to be a very staunch communist when I was a very little kid. Now I'm not a staunch communist, but I am I don't like imperialism, and to see 1,000 years of imperialism cut down is very much you know something that excites me. That is one thing, and the other, going back to like 13th century, I think, when the Mongols basically invaded Baghdad.
Oh,
I'm putting there because that, I think, is one of the most brutal things that has ever happened in the history of mankind, history of history of history. We don't know what happened in the Stone Age, right? Mm. And what happened there was basically like there are two rivers that uh, join in Baghdad, the Tigris and the Euphrates. Those two are the biggest rivers of the Middle East, uh, and those two rivers were filled with blood and ink because Baghdad was like a city of learning. There were universities in Baghdad. There was a house of wisdom in Baghdad where there were like uh, historical records from thousands of years ago. All those were destroyed by the Mongols, and all people were killed by the Mongols. The family that ruled Baghdad, they were like the direct descendants of Prophet Muhammad. Uh, their entire family was killed, and the killing was like really brutal, right? Because the Mongols, they didn't just like cut their heads off or feed them poison or anything like that. They told them to lie down on their chests, and then they rode their horses over the entire family, and their horses trampled on the king's bodies, and they died like that. That very brutal scene is also something that I'd like to witness.
so why
And
was
there are also like,
sorry,
huh?
I just interrupt you. Okay,
Why not?
like it's so brutal. Then, like, would you really
Why do
want
you want
to?
to see it? Why are you
Yeah,
so messed up? Is
Like
this question, I think.
yeah,
no, not because of the brutality, because like it's like really a moment that you can't really find in any other point in history
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's so brutal, right? The first time I read this, like I was nearly on the verge of tears myself because it was like really brutal. Uh, and it destroyed an entire civilization, right? It ended the golden age of Islam. Like algebra was invented by Islamic philosophers. Mathematics was introduced to the West by Islamic philosophers. The numbers, they call it Hindu Arabic numbers, right?
yeah,
uh, they were discovered by the Hindus, and they were formalized by Arabs, and they transferred it to Europe, right?
yeah.
Hindu Arabic numerals were found by Arabic philosophers, popularized by Arabic philosophers. All that history ended right there. And, that is something that I really want to see because that changed the course of history uh, in that region. Not because of the brutality, but because, of the significance.
Yeah, yeah. Like just to, yeah, just to,
And on another, like, it's not a moment exactly, but it's like a general period of time. There was like this period of time from like fifth to sixth centuries where there was the Persian Empire, right? It was a massive empire. It was called the Sassanid Empire. Uh, it stretched from like Egypt in the east to Afghanistan in the west to like in north. It was, I think, Turkmenistan. Nearly reached to Russia, and in the south it was the whole of the Arabian Peninsula. That Persian Empire, and right to the side there was the Roman Empire. Uh, and it was also massive. Those two are basically like the biggest economic contributors of the entire world. The world's, I don't know the exact number, but like it's more than 70% of the GDP of the world was contained in that region. And those two empires were enemies. They had wars, but also they were really big trade partners, right? And I really want to see that dynamic play out because they were such great rivals. They had a lot of wars, countless number of wars over a century, but they also were great trade partners. And I want to see that politics, right?
yeah, yeah.
How the rulers
So,
managed to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
my one question out of curiosity, do you think that if you see the course of time, then there have been multiple wars and multiple that keeps on repeating, right? Even from like from early like hundreds, like 100 to 100 AD to till now. And if you see now also, then sometime uh, we might see that there will not be any wars, but the history repeats itself, right? So what do you think? Like, will it? What's the chance of happening? Like,
Have you guys read uh, about like the Black Swan by Nassim Taleb?
I
It's
no.
have
like
watched the
really
movie though.
uh, the movie has nothing to do with the book. The book is about like rare events, right? Black swans don't exist in nature, right?
Hmm.
So the black swan in probability terms is like something that happens very rarely, but has massive
Hmm.
consequences. So we all are engineering students. There's an expected value, right? In probability, we
Hmm.
have an expected value, and typically we believe that a distribution is normal. So uh, the central values will have uh, higher contribution. The maximum contribution that they can have is like 66%. The sigma to sigma, uh, normally distributed.
Yeah.
But in some distributions, which are known as power law distributions, like 99% of the values are zero.
Hmm.
Right? They have absolutely no contribution. Not zero. They are like really small amount. They have absolutely no contribution to the average. But there's like 1% values that are so massive that the average becomes 50. But 99% of the values are zero, and 1% of the values are you know uh, 1 lakh or 1 crore or something like that. In history, like Nassim Taleb's idea is that in history, in wars, the power law distribution occurs, right? So back in history, there were many wars,
Yeah.
Hmm.
right? What there were very few people,
Yeah.
so proportionately, few people died, but there were many wars,
Yeah.
right? It was tumultuous, but less people died because there were very little people. But after industrial revolution, population increased massively, right? So in World War II, in this 20th century, there were not many wars, right? There were like I think at max there should be 50, 60 wars,
Oh,
which
in
is
a
not
century.
much, right?
Oh.
And even out of those 50, 60 wars, the big wars were basically World War I and World War II. In the other wars, not many people died. But in World War I, I think how many people died? I don't really know the exact number, but X million people died. But in World War II, yeah, you can Google that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it like 30 million, 20
20
million,
million.
Yeah.
million? And that was the biggest war till then. World War I was the biggest war. World War II,
70.
85 million people died.
Yeah.
So, uh, Taleb's hypothesis is that wars will decrease, the number of wars will decrease, right? But
Number of
technology will
deaths.
advance so much that our potential of killing will increase. So less number of wars will cause a large number of casualties because of nuclear weapons, because of nuclear weapons have only been deployed in actual war in
Yeah. Yeah.
Japan 2 times. Right?
Twice.
So
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
drop one nuclear bomb in Tokyo today, how many hundreds of millions of people will die? Just think about that. All it takes is one war. Basically, we don't need many wars.
Yeah. So
Uh, you know,
since it's repeating, so there is high chance that similar
yeah.
war will happen. So that's why people, like,
So
countries are
probability that
spending.
war will happen has decreased, right?
Yeah.
Because this Russia-Ukraine war was not anticipated. It was a war after a long time, a big war after a very long time. But if nuclear weapons are
Yeah. Yeah.
deployed there, then massive number of people will die. The casualties will increase.
Yeah.
That
What?
is the hypothesis.
Yeah.
But
Also,
it might.
yeah. So that's why, like, if, like, these countries are really spending lots of billions for like, military defense. And also, if everyone is like being prepared and everyone is like in equal terms in terms of their defense, then there will be no power gaps, right? So I think that also is important to keep things in balance. Did you got my point? Right? If India is equally advancing in military, if China is equally advancing, if everyone is scared of everyone, then yeah, they will be not, there will be less chance of someone pulling the trigger, I think.
uh,
Mm.
I don't think
But
that
it takes,
is.
but all it takes is one crazy maniac, right? I
Yeah.
mean, for example, like we love to like troll on people like Putin and Trump and even Biden, like, but these are like generally sane people, you know. Sometimes, you know, like imagine a US president, like a very good US president, supposedly goes to the office, and whatever happens in his personal life, or he breaks down for some reason, and then he decides, okay, fuck it, and then
Yeah.
he goes to war and then deploys nuclear arms in a day. Like he has the power, right?
Yeah,
and,
like
and
even like if you look at Putin, like if he just touches a NATO country's land, like for example, if he just
I don't think they will send nuclear arms right away. I mean, uh, Putin is crazy, of course. I think he is, but he's not like he's not dumb. I mean, at least
yeah,
so far.
Yeah, I think they'll threaten as much as they can, but when it comes to actually acting,
Yeah,
yeah,
when it comes to
it will
actually,
take a maniac. I
deploying
mean,
nuclear.
even if they like, even if Putin like starts killing people in Poland or whatever, I don't think they will send new. It will
no, no,
start a nuclear war.
it
But
won't.
It has to be like someone like Stalin who thinks that a million deaths is a statistic or something like that.
yeah,
One death is a tragedy, a million
yeah.
deaths is a
Or
statistic.
someone like Hitler, if they whatever they say about Hitler is true, and then he goes entirely maniac. I think it will have to do something with you know, drugs or whatever. Like no one in their right minds, however evil, will just like, you know, drop nuclear bombs. And
In
on
Mexico,
the
there might be some in Mexico. I mean, Mexican cartels take training from Israeli paramilitary groups. I heard that, right? And who knows? They might have, Israel.
Really?
Israel might have given them
yeah,
some,
it may be. And
some
you
information.
know,
But
I
I
think
heard
Iran,
stories
Iran is
about.
some sort of, we can't talk in this way publicly, but I think the maniacness might come from Iran also. Like,
I think this my opinion on this is like really spicy. I think this is manufactured, outrage, manufactured, toxic stuff from Western media.
oh yeah, yeah.
Depicting Iran as like this Satan kind of country. This irrational kind of country. Where
Yeah, I think you can
the
stop
leader,
recording
the
and
leader
then
is
we'll
not.
talk some spicy stuff. Because I have some spicy opinions, which we might not want to record at
No, no,
all.
it's okay. You can just talk like
No, you have to stop it, man. I mean,
really. Okay,
yeah.
let me
Got it
stop. Okay, okay. Thank you,
before you
guys.
post. Is
I
this live?
mean, it's
This is not.
not that I'm being racist towards everyone and anyone or something like that. It's just, you know, it's not a good idea to generally, you know, you never know.
Yeah, I think the session is also complete for today. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to stop the recording, and we will be listening to some Sudeep's spicy stuff from
I am
now
not
on.
racist, but